Hey guys, what's up? Shin0555 here, and welcome to the Pokemon Master Quest. This is a video series where I will be drawing every single Pokemon that appears in the Pokédex. So, this is the very first episode that we're doing, and I figured we'd start out with Pokemon number 1, which is Bulbasaur here. So, basically, I'm going to treat this very much in a similar style to how I do my how to draw videos on the channel, where I'm just going to be showing you guys how to draw the Pokemon as they appear in the Pokédex, and we'll be going over how to draw it. I'll be showing some tips, some tricks, all that stuff, and we're going to be doing it digitally here, and I have the drawing pre-done, or not pre-done, but I have the sketch laid out right here that I did beforehand, and we're going to use this to help guide us through the video. So, yeah, so let's get started. So what you want to start out with, I do have a few things here. Well, I got my, background for the Pokemon Master Quest here on this layer. I got my sketch here on this layer that we're going to use to do the drawer over. I have my color swatches for Bulbasaur right here. And I got my little handy reference image that we're going to use to help us out. So what we're going to do first is, those are all layers we have now. What I am going to do is, right above layer 5, I'm going to start a new folder. Do that right here. I'm going to add a new layer, and this is going to be a line art. With Bulbasaur here, we're only going to need one layer. We're not going to do anything fancy and do multiple layers. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take my specialized ink pen that I use. If you want to know the dimensions and stuff, if you're using Paint Tool Sci, I have them right here. And I'm using Paint Tool Sci version 2, if you were wondering, the paid for one. But this is pretty much the settings that I have. So if you want to copy these, feel free to do so. It also works the same in normal Paint Tool Sci. But before we jump into actually drawing it, let's break down what we are starting out with here. Let's make it green, since he's a grass type. And so basically, when you're drawing Bulbasaur, what you want to take into account is breaking him down into very simple shapes. So one shape you want to break him down, that you can break him down, is this nice circle that we have for his head here. And then under his circle, you get like an oval here that kind of overlaps. And then you get several ovals for his 4 feet. So you're going to get one here, and one here. And then for his back, it's this nice big circle. But you could also make it kind of like a teardrop shape by making like the spike come out. So it looks like a little teardrop or a slime from Dragon Quest. And he would also have little triangles for his ears here, like that. And if we were to turn off this layer, so you should have like a rough sketch that looks something like this, and then you would get the kind of crosshairs like this, and then his eyes would be right about here and right about here. And his eye shape, if you want to fry in a little bit more, it's kind of like a Dorito. So you get kind of like that Dorito shape for his eyes, and then his mouth is kind of like this big kind of triangle like that. So again, if I turn off the sketch here, that's basically what Bulbasaur looks like broken down into very simple shapes. So you got the circle, the oval, the water drop for his back, and then just the ovals for his feet. But if you have something drawn similar to this is pretty much all you need. So I will turn this layer off, put this one back on, and we're just going to jump into the line art here. So we'll just zoom in. I'll start off with the eyes. Like that. And again, they're very Dorito shape, so when you go around, you kind of want to keep that... Whoop. Let's try doing that a little bit nicer. There we go. This curve line for the eyes here. That's pretty good. And now for his head, Again, it's not a perfect circle. It's kind of very similar to kind of like his mouth or his eyes. It kind of follows that Dorito shape. So it's kind of pointed where the cheeks are, and it's kind of pointed where the chin is. And then I guess if this connected out, it'd be kind of pointed right there. So you want to keep that in mind while you are drawing them. And whoop. Then we'll get his other little tooth. His tooth are just these little U shapes. And another pro tip, you do want to make sure the lines connect with one another. You don't want little gaps. That will affect us in a little bit. They're just going to go over and then down. For the ears are these nice little bumps, really. Get a nice straight line for that. And here we'll go up and down. Now we'll get these little shapes here. Again, these are very much Dorito. You know, now that I mention it, Bulbasaur is just one big Dorito. Really, whoop. When you think about it. What flavor Dorito would Bulbasaur be? Let me know in the comments below. Alrighty. So now we'll get the nails here. And the nails are kind of like these, what do you call it, a cone type shape. Here, this one's going to be more of a diamond, so it's going to go up, down, and then kind of have the point to it. That. And yeah, and yeah. I'll draw a nice curve line up here. One like that. One going up there. Let's curve that around a little bit. Again, Control Z. If you're new to drawing digitally, that is the hotkey to undo. So if you want to undo a line you just did, hit Control Z. You will be using that a lot. Unless you're perfect and draw everything right the very first time and your hand never slips ever. But if you're that, well, then why are you watching this tutorial video? So we're breaking Bulbasaur down into these little... God, why is it so unsteady? Doing these little spots here on Bulbasaur. Again, I like doing the nails first before I get into the leg, because I know where the line is, so I can stop it. Alright, this line will be a little tough because it's so long. Doing long strokes is quite annoying, but... we nailed it. Look at that. Clean it up a little bit on the bottom here. But look at that. Bulbasaur's coming through. Look at this little guy. We'll go down here. And again, you want to keep that Dorito type shape. You don't want to make round circles. You want to kind of have lines, but you don't want to have it be a sharp turn like that. You want it to be more of a rounded triangle when you're doing a lot of these shapes with Bulbasaur. But now that we got that down, what we're going to do is draw in his little bloom petal thing here. I don't like how thin this one is, so we're going to change that a little bit. Go out like that, and then down, kind of curve that in here. And a trick to doing this one is you want basically this one petal going out like this, and then you want to continue this line, but put a little gap in between, Same thing here as well. Put a little gap in between that. And then here we're going to go out, over, and then in. You don't realize how, like, unsteady your hand is until, like, start using a tablet. And then here I'll just follow this line. And again, you want to keep it that, like, water droplet type shape on the top here. But now that we've got that done, we can actually turn off our line layer here, or the kind of base sketch that we did, and with this nice kind of tight line layer here for Bulbasaur. And now what we're going to do next is start dropping in some color. So what I'm actually going to do is create another folder. I'm going to label this color. Color. There's 2 O's in color. Unless we're in, like, Europe where they spell it with a U. Whoop. Didn't mean to make another folder. So we have a color folder right here. We're going to put a new layer in it. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on the line layer folder. Then I'm going to click the wand tool here. And I'm going to select pretty much all of Bulbasaur here. And the problem with the select tool in Psy, or I guess, I don't even know if you consider it a problem, is there will be a bunch of little spaces like right here that you just need to use like the select pen and just kind of quickly fill it in before zooming out here. And again, it happens in all of these small little like nooks and crannies here and here, and we're getting a little bit of a delay. It's probably because I'm recording. It's actually the first time I'm recording me doing something. Well, no, I guess technically not. I've streamed before. But it's the first time I'm like recording the video footage so I can edit it later. But that looks pretty good. So now that we have all that done, we can go to layer 8. We can select the color that we need. And the selection didn't go away. It went into like the dotted lines. When you click on something that isn't a select tool, it looks like it goes away, but it didn't really go away. Then I'm gonna hit the bucket, and I'm just gonna double check with the reference here. So this would be this green for Bulbasaur. So I'm gonna just lay that in, and that's pretty much what we're gonna do for the rest. Normally I would cut this out. I'm gonna hit Control D to unselect that, and now I'm gonna make a new layer. Go back to the line art, and now what I'm gonna do is go back to the magic wand tool, and then just select all of these pieces here. And I'm just gonna zoom in real quick, make sure we're not losing anything here. Then I'm going to, okay, normally, like I was saying before, normally I would cut this out, but since Bulbasaur is kind of a easy character that we're not using a whole bunch of colors for, I'll include it. And since it's for the first video, I thought it might as well include this. I think for future videos, I will cut out this whole selecting and deselecting part, because again, you guys don't really need to see it, and it's a little tedious, but it is what it is. So I'll probably cut this, whoop, almost forgot to make a new layer, and then make it its own color. And you want each color on its own layer. That is really important. I'll explain why later. Now we can deselect that. I'll make a new layer so I don't forget. Go back to line art, wand tool, then we're gonna select inside his mouth here, because we're gonna use this color. I do have to go back to the pen tool because I saw, yeah, I was missing some stuff there. That looks pretty good, so we can go back to the bucket tool, go to layer 11, boom, drop some color in, deselect that, and now we just need a new color layer. I'm gonna name this layer white. The reason why is because you can't really see it in Paint Tool Sign. If you do something white, it just looks like a blank layer. So I don't lose that layer, I name it white. I usually do that, and we are going to make all of the white parts white, and I see a little bit of missing selection where the fill tool will not fill that in, or the paint bucket, or whatever you want to call it. And again, these a lot of the stuff I'm showing, this works in pretty much all like art programs. I'm gonna steal this color. Okay, it's just base white. Bucket. Yeah, I think we hit it all. And now we are going to make another layer. Then we're going to deselect that. So, whoops. Okay, that's because I hit the selection tool on a blank layer. That's why it selected everything. Oh, excuse me. And then we're going to do a layer for his eye color. Boop. And that's all there was to it. So now that we have his colors all selected out and looking very nice, we actually don't need the reference image anymore. So here's a little trick that I like doing. So now that we have each color selected in its own layer, what I'm going to do is hit the color layer. I'm going to make a copy of it. And in this program, you have to go to layers and go to copy layer, and it'll make a copy of the folder. So I'm going to actually hide the color folder here. And on our copy color 2 folder, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the white out, and I'm going to take the eyes out because I want to keep them separate. But then what I'm going to do here is on the color folder, I'm going to hit this button right here that merges the layers together. So basically all the colors now are on one layer, but the reason why I do that is because when we do the shading, it's easier to just do it all in one. But I also have the color layer here, so if I need to select something, say like the dots on Bulbasaur, I could, and here's another trick, I could select outside the dots, so I have everything not selected here, and then you can hit Control. Oh, it does not work. Okay, it works in Photoshop if you hit Control I, but you can go to selection and hit inverse selection, and now I can just go back to this layer and then go to like bucket or paint tool and draw on that. So it's good to have these selections made like that. So that's the reason why I do it. But now that we got that done, let's go into the white. The white's pretty easy. What we're going to do here is going to make a new layer above it, and then we're going to hit clipping mask. In Photoshop, you actually have to right-click the layer and hit create clipping mask. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to like a nice slight gray. I'm going to go to the base color because I like using the base color when I do some of the shading and stuff. And basically what I'm going to do here is just put a nice little shade on the eye here. Like that. And then same thing here. Again, doesn't have to be crazy, just doing a little bit like that. That looks pretty good. And then what we're going to do is take a slightly darker color here, or a slightly darker gray. We're going to shrink down the brush size a little bit. Oh, why is it not working? Oh, yeah, it does this weird thing. I don't know why it does this glitch. It might be the pen I'm using. Maybe let's do anime ink. Yeah, okay, yeah, it must be the pen I'm using. It, like, blends the colors together weird. So I just switched to my ink pen. And we're just going over this. And what a clipping mask does, I don't know if I explained this, is it keeps the colors on. So if I hit it off, you see how the colors are going off? I'll make it like a... Hey, now why is it not writing? So you see how the colors are going off like that? When I hit clipping mask, it actually puts them together there like so. So it's only drawing on the white layer. And now what I can do here is hit the watercolor brush. Ooh, that was way too big. Make it like a 16. And with the watercolor brush here, I can actually kind of blend the lines together a little bit. So creating like a nice little shade for the eyes. Nice little tip like that. And that's pretty good. We can jump into the eye here. And we're going to do basically the same thing. We're just going to go to a clip and mask. We're going to go to base color. And we are going to go to a white. Now let's go in here. And because Bulbasaur is like white. Where his eye is right here. So we got one. We'll get the second one here. Like that. I can make this a little bit rounder. There we go. That's perfect. And now, above that, what we're going to do is we're going to create another clipping mask. And we're going to change the layer style. So this one is on normal. We want it on multiply. And we're going to bring it down a little bit. Maybe like a 64. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the eyedropper tool, click on the eye color here, and we're just going to go a little bit darker, and go back to the base color. And we're just going to go do kind of like a half circle like that. We need a bigger one. Let's do like 50. Yeah, there we go. Like that. And then another one like that. We're going to just add a little bit of like shading to the eye. Actually go down just a tad. Yeah, something like that will be good. So some nice little shading on there. Another tip that you can do, actually I kind of want the white above. Yeah, that looks much better. The white above the eye. And another thing you could do in Paint Tool Psi, under effects, you can do a water fringe, and then just kind of extend it out like that. And basically what this does is it puts like a highlight or a shadow on the edge of the line here. And that's usually good for like the eyes. So when we zoom out, it looks pretty good. And I did notice these didn't blend right. It's probably because I'm recording. I'm gonna hit the watercolor. Yeah. Okay, I guess I'm doing just too many big strokes at once. Normally, I don't have this problem, but I think because I'm recording, it's not blending as well as it should be. Because using up some more like my computer's GPU. But so that's pretty much it for the eyes. I do like usually when I do these, I do the eyes like separate. But now we're gonna do for the whole body color, and we're gonna keep it real simple. We're gonna hit new. We're gonna create a clipping mask above the color layer, set it to multiply, and we are gonna go with this like kind of purpley reddy color, and we're gonna drop that down to like 65, and we're gonna take an airbrush, and we're gonna make the airbrush pretty damn big. Maybe like that's too big. Maybe like 200, and we're just gonna do some simple shading here. So we're gonna have the light come in like this way. So there'd be some shade under here, like that, a little bit on this side, around like that, a lot on the plume here, a little bit above there too. A little bit on the side of his face. Some on his back. Maybe a little bit behind the ear there. A little bit around the eye. And then a lot in the mouth. I should probably go smaller for the mouth. Maybe like 100. A little bit around the eye here. And again, I'm just dropping a little bit of shadow in everywhere. Like that. And then we could take the... do I have the blur tool somewhere? The blur tool, I actually really like the blur tool. We need to make it bigger though. Maybe like 160. Again, it's probably gonna suck right now with like the... Make it like an 80. With my computer right now when I'm recording. But we are gonna like blur in some of these lines here. Again, you just kind of really want like a gradient. That's kind of what you're going for with Bulbasaur here. Something like that. And again, you could play with the intensity. Again, somewhere around like a 60 should be good. Like maybe like 59. That looks pretty good. And you could do the same thing by making a new layer, clipping mask, and setting it to like screen or overlay. Going back to the airbrush tool, making it maybe about like maybe about 100. 100 would be pretty good. And then I usually like clicking on like one of his main colors, like this green, and then going back to the airbrush tool. And then you could do some like highlights where the light would be hitting it. Like that. Maybe a little bit on the right here. A lot on the plume. Or the bud, or whatever you want to call it. And another cool trick with the oh, do I not have it inside? Oh no, it's right here. There's this weird or little thing where you could actually make it into an eraser tool by clicking this button right here. Make it a nice little eraser tool, which comes in handy when you like there's just parts you need to just clean up with the airbrush. That's pretty good. And again, we can affect kind of the light on it. And one thing I like doing just in general is giving it a little bit of a texture. So right here under paper, we click on the color layer, and usually like watercolor. I usually like going like real rough with it. Maybe watercolor too. Because like the old Pokemon designs, it looks like they're done like crayon or like traditionally drawn. And this does kind of help give that effect. Make it bigger, make it small. Somewhere around there. But that is pretty much it on how to draw Bulbasaur. One last thing if you want to do it. Under line art, where we do have our line art, you can make a new layer, create a clipping mask, and where's my color tool? So like instead of making it pure black, what we can do is maybe take like one of the darkest greens here, make it a very dark green like that, and then go over the lines here. The reason why I'm using the brush tool right here is I want to keep the lines for the mouth and eyes black, because I think that'll just look a little bit better. So I'm just going to very carefully avoid those while I do everything else. Again, gives it kind of like a little bit more of a lighter look to it. It's not as dark. And again, like keeping the eyes and mouth black also help make them stick out a little bit more. So that's pretty good. And again, you could do that by making a clipping mask over the line layer. And if you're not happy with it, always go to like filters, probably brightness and contrast. And then turn down the brightness if it's too bright. Or you can make it lighter, make them look green. But something like like that would do. Just have a nice little like off black line. Really makes it pop out. But that is pretty much it, guys, on how to draw Bulbasaur. So yeah, this was our first catch for the Pokemon Master Quest. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, so I plan on hitting every single Pokemon in the Pokédex. I know it's going to be a very long series of videos, but they'll pretty much be like this. I'm sure as I go on, I will be able to maybe make the videos a little bit more better, more concise. But let me know what you think. Again, this is the first episode. I would love any feedback you guys have. Would really be helpful. And but other than that, let me know if this helped you draw Bulbasaur, or you learned any like new tricks or anything from the tutorial. But other than that, guys, remember to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Yeah, I thought I forgot something, but I didn't. So I'm gonna end the video here, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the end slate that's coming up, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, thanks, bye. Later. Hey guys, welcome to the end slate. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope your catch went well. And yeah, this is just the part of the video where I ask you to like, comment, subscribe, share it. You can follow me on all my socials. Link is down in the description below. All that stuff really helps me out, and I really do appreciate it if you do take the time to do that. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Also, just want to remind you guys, your comments do affect the encounter rate in these videos. So write what Pokemon you want to see me draw next, and the more comments I get on one, it increases the chances of us running into one and catching it in our Master Quest here. So other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, thanks, bye. Later.